Let's try and find the intersection of a line and a quadratic. Our quadratic is f of x equals 5x squared plus x minus 2, and our line is g of x equals negative 5x plus 6. Well, if we want to find the intersection, we need the place where the two equations are equal. That is, they intersect or meet where they are equal by definition. So what I want to do is solve for where does 5x squared plus x minus 2 equal negative 5x plus 6. And I'll start to solve by moving everything to one side. I'm going to first move this negative 5x over by adding 5x to both sides. And I get 5x squared plus 6x minus 2 equals, these cancel, and I'm just left with a 6. Since the 6 is positive, I'll subtract it both sides, and I get 5x squared plus 6x minus 8 equals 0. I have different choices here. I need to solve this quadratic. And remember, this thing I'm solving represents the intersection of two equations. That is, if I solve this equation, I'll know where these two original line and quadratic met. I think I'll solve it using chart method. I'm looking for what multiplies to negative 8 times 5. Negative 8 times 5 is negative 40. So what multiplies to negative 40 and adds to 6? Now I need two numbers. Could be 1 and 40. Could be 2 and 20. 3 doesn't work. Could be 4 and 10. 5 and 8 would work. And 6 doesn't go into 40. I notice it multiplies to a negative, so one of these has to be negative. If I tried 1 and negative 40, they'd multiply correctly, but 1 and negative 40 could never add to 6. Same thing with 2 and, say, negative 20. 2 times negative 20 will multiply nicely, but they'll add nowhere near to 6. But 4 times negative 10 is close. 4 times negative 10 gives me negative 40. 4 plus negative 10 gives me negative 6. I should have made this one the negative, this one the positive. Negative 4 times 10 gives me negative 40, and negative 4 plus 10 adds to 6. So my new equation will be, put a line here, I'm trying to multiply this equation. Oh, and I've got to do my chart method first before I get that new final equation answer. So start with this x squared term, that goes in the middle. And this last term, that constant term negative 8, goes in the bottom right corner. And these two remaining spots are filled by what we got for the 6x. We broke it into two pieces, a negative 4x and a 10x. Now factor using chart method. Break down the 5x squared with the 10x. What goes into both? A 5 and an x. And if I break down 5x squared by dividing by 5x, I'm left with an x. If I break down that 5x out of the 10x, divide, 10x divided by 5x is 2. And negative 4x has to be broken down here as well. Negative 4x divided by x is negative 4. I do a quick check. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Yep, pretty sure about that then. And so I've got my final factors to this solution. That is, I know that this factors into this row and column. So 5x squared plus 6x minus 8 factors into x plus 2, this row, times this column, 5x minus 4. And the whole thing is still equal to 0. I'll go a bit down here for some more room. So x plus 2 and 5x minus 4 are my two factors, and one of them has to equal 0. So either x plus 2 equals 0, or 5x minus 4 equals 0. So if x plus 2 equals 0, then x is negative 2. And if 5x minus 4 equals 0, then I move this 4 over by adding 4, and I get 5x equals 4. And now I solve for x on this side by dividing both sides by 5, and I get x equals 0.8. Interesting. I'm going to have two solutions. If x equals negative 2, I can sub into any of the equations. Let's sub into g at x just to see. I'll get g at negative 2 equals negative 5 times negative 2 plus 6. I need to find what this y is. Negative 5 times negative 2, that's positive 10. And 10 still has that plus 6 on the end, 16. So one solution I've got is negative 2, comma 16. That is, this parabola meets this line at negative 2, 16. But there's going to be a second intersection. If x equals 0.8, let's sub in again to g. We could sub into f, but I can see it's going to take a lot longer. I'd rather sub into g at x, not f at x. So g at 0.8 equals negative 5 times 0.8 plus 6. Negative 5 times plus 8. Could use my calculator. I could remember 5 times 8 is 4. Sorry, 5 times 8 is 40, I should say. So 5 times 0.8 is 4. So negative 5 times 0.8 is negative 4. And I get negative 4 plus 6. And negative 4 plus 6 is 2. So I have a second solution. When x is 0.8, y is 2. Therefore, I need a space to write my therefore. Hopefully you can still see me writing here. These functions, that is the line and the quadratic, intersect at negative 2, 16, and at a second spot, 0.8, comma 2.